Welcome to the TheDPost Sports Chat. I'm Drew Rubenstein here again with Todd Murray. And Todd, the WVU women's basketball team keeps rolling and finally got into the top 25 poll earlier this week. And I guess to start off with, why did it take so long?
Well, I think they started out the season getting some votes. They had the disappointing loss to the Buckeyes there in the opener. They played some teams that Mike Carey thought initially might give them a boost, but have turned out to not have quite the season that they thought. So it's taken them getting a few wins on the road against teams like Iowa State and Oklahoma State. You could see them starting to get more votes in the poll, and then this past week is just going to push them over the top, and they're into the top 25. Now the goal is to stay there, and at least they started off on the right foot on this road trip with the big win at Texas Tech.
Now, even though they haven't been in the polls, publicly it doesn't seem like the players or Coach Carey seem to have cared, but internally you get the sense that this group has known for a while and maybe thought of itself as an upper echelon team, a top 15 type of team. Is that accurate? Is that kind of the vibe that you've gotten from this team throughout the season?
Yeah. I think they definitely think they're a top 25 team. Now, some of the players, they don't really care if they are. They kind of like flying under the radar, so to speak, and that's been a good position for them so far. And Mike Carey actually thinks they play a little bit better maybe when there isn't as much attention on them. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on here as the season progresses. I mean, they're in a good spot, but there's still a lot of games in the Big 12 left to play.
Absolutely, and I know it's too early, and Coach Carey wouldn't want to have this conversation, but NCAA tournament seed. I mean, at this point, WVU's matched its win total from last year. It's a solid lock at this point in the NCAA tournament, barring a total collapse. At this point, they kind of probably have their eyes set on what they need to do to keep padding that resume. Everybody knows that in the past WVU's had trouble getting out of that second round game, so they're looking at building this resume. What seed is realistic? Where are they looking long term wise? If you're looking at this program, where should they be aiming to be in March for the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think clearly they'd like a top 5 seed. They'd like, ideally, a 2 and 3 would be great. They just don't want to put themselves in a position where they have to play a top 10, top 5 team on their home court in the second round of the NCAA tournament. And it's kind of interesting this year, if you look at the host cities, a lot of those have teams that are ranked very highly in the polls right now. So it will be interesting to see how all that plays out. But they want to take care of business on the court and ensure themselves as high a seed as possible.
Seems like there's been a lot of nice stories individually within this team, from Linda Stepney having some games where shootings come along, Brookhampton, Asia Bussey coming back from injury. Is there something that's stuck out at this point in the season that was kind of identified in the preseason? This is going to have to go well for the women's team to succeed. That's happened, something that sticks out from the first 2/3 of the season?
Yeah, well, I think Stepney's play of late. Mike Carey has been on her for the last couple of years to try to be more aggressive, take the ball to the basket, don't pass up open shots. And the last 2 or 3 games, she's really come alive and started doing this. And I thought it made a big difference, in the Iowa State game, obviously, and in the Oklahoma win, their last home game. And if that continues, that's really going to help all facets of their game.
And a little bit on Crystal Caldwell, past 1,000-point mark for her career against Texas Tech. What sticks out about her? What has she been able to do over the course of her career? A versatile guard and kind of what Carey was looking for in the system?
Very, very much so. I transferred here from Florida with somebody that they recruited out of high school. Is a very good shooter. Like most shooters, she can go through slumps, and she went through a really tough one here recently, but has come out of it. And Mike Carey constantly praises her work ethic. She's always staying after practice, putting up shots, and I know he's really happy, to see the success that she's had.
And last one for you, the Texas, a rematch on Saturday, this time in Austin. You watched the first one in Morgantown. It was not a pretty show for WVU's offense for about 39.5 minutes or so. Does WVU just not match up well against Texas, or was it just one of those nights? How do you see this rematch playing out?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, a big game in Austin there. WVU did not play well in Morgantown until very late in regulation. Then were able to pull it out in overtime. They're going to have to play 40 minutes, in Austin to come out with a win. I know Mike Carey's going to be hammering that point home until tip-off on Saturday.
All right, very good. Todd, appreciate your time once again, and please continue to check TheDPost.com for the latest on the women's basketball team. Thanks for watching again.